You are watching the Powder Out Podcast.
What's going on, Powdered Out Podcast? I am Landfill. Thank y'all for joining us today. We're just a couple days away from Christmas. I hope everybody's got their stuff together. I hope everybody's got their Christmas shopping done. I hope nobody got into big old brawls while trying to get Christmas gifts at the last minute. I was actually watching some Christmas matches today. It was a Monsters Ball with Abyss, Relic, the Dustin Road character they had that was all dark and spooky. But I hope everybody got into the Christmas spirits and not in the brutal way. But I'm glad y'all joined us today. We got some stuff going on for y'all. And let's see what everybody else is up to.
Hey, what is up, Powdered Out Nation? You know me as the crazy Canuck, Michael Bolton. I think today we're just going to talk about some This Week in Wrestling, about that referee who just got stabbed. I am really interested to see Landfill's and Josh's take on the referee being stabbed with a snow pick. That's pretty awesome.
How did this situation come to be?
I don't know. Apparently it was a shoot. It was in Texas. It was just a shoot. The referee and the other wrestler, I think he went by death. He went by death. And he just stabbed this referee with the ice pick.
Well, wow. That's just dope. So,
Mr. Shaky, what's going on?
Mr. Shaky?
Mr. Shaky hasn't been on for a while. I've been good. I mean, it's been football season, and I'm a party host, and it's fun. Spin wheels, give out free gifts, and I get free booze and food, so you can't ever complain.
Nope, can't go wrong there.
Oh no!
And I'm also
all that free American booze all you can.
I'm also shouting out because I know there's some of them. Dave and Buster's, Kansas City, Kansas now. New Year's Eve, and then moving forward every single Friday, everybody. Open mics the first 3 days, shows on the final days. So that's something I'm kind of happy about now, moving into 2022. Because, yeah, what's your biggest goal in 2022? Or here we go. Let's switch it. Let's get a little wrestling to it. What would you love to see move into 2022?
Ooh, easy. AEW events in Canada. And maybe Powdered Out do some interviews at maybe the ACC.
All right. Landfill, what's your wrestling 2022?
Well,
do you want to go to an event? What do you want Pop to do?
Push into 2022. I'm looking to get back into the ring myself. Back in the day, I went through wrestling training, and I've been just digging deep into the other parts of wrestling business. But I'm looking to really get back to the ring part soon. So I'm hoping here in a couple months, pushing to 2022, that I will be debuting in the ring as, my character that everybody has come to love and know, Landfill, pushing out of the, the promo realm to the big stage again, following the footsteps of my friend Rick Wildley. Which Rick Wildley had a great show. I heard the UW pulled off a
Nashville, Texas thing.
They pulled off a tremendous show. They got they just crowned a world heavyweight champion, and we'll get to that in a minute. They crowned a new heavyweight champion. Rick Wildley had a great match. But overall, I heard nothing but good things about the show. And as well as I'm looking forward to another one of my promotions that I like to keep an eye on. Stranglehold Championship Wrestling is going to be making a comeback in 2022 as well.
Stranglehold was sick.
As well as I'm looking forward to seeing more of IWX, XEW. It's something along the lines of that. I used to go to some of their shows back in the day through Mississippi and Alabama. They just recently started back up, and they got some more big shows scheduled for 2022.
XPW just started up again. They're doing a second event in January.
I heard about that. Did you hear that? I saw something along. I didn't get to read the article, but it was the AEW Tag Team Champions calling out the Briscoes to AEW because at the moment the Briscoes are the GCW and the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions.
I don't want it to happen. Keep the big boys in the big leagues. Keep the Briscoes in the independent leagues. We don't need crossovers from independent to the big leagues anymore. It's been done. Just go on AEW with the big boys.
Well, that's the thing. As far as it stands, with the tag team champions is over there. I think the Briscoes are maybe more over than them tag team champions that AEW has.
See, Briscoes are AEW material, but not with the JCW title on them. Because what happened when Mox won the GCW title? He was not allowed to bring it on TV. So what happens if Briscoes wins and then everything about JCW gets put underneath the carpet?
Well, it just depends, because I hadn't really seen that lately. Everywhere I've been looking, I've been seeing cross-branded, kind of situations. They've took the GCW titles with them everywhere they've went so far.
Yeah, but independently, they haven't took the GCWs to a big company yet. Maybe if they did, maybe it would discriminate some of the title to GCW.
Granted, you're not going to get, like WWE to flaunt other people's titles.
That's what I mean.
But there's a big opportunity with, like we've been talking about as of lately, you got Impact, you got AEW, you got NWA, you got New Japan. That's all intermingling, so there's opportunities.
Yeah, but they are not independent. The open door policy is to big leagues, not to independent companies.
But Impact does run independent shows.
But they have been a big boy player for so long. They don't count as independent anymore. You don't count as independent once you start selling out arenas, you're not independent.
Well, as far as it goes, these are opportunities that they intermingle their main roster people or some people maybe on their B card along with the independents.
Keep the independents independent. Keep the big leagues in the big leagues.
I don't agree with that. Because where do you get your big leaguers? From the independents?
No, you get your big leagues from people like the juniors and the seniors. You wouldn't have got Guerrero from his family who wrestled in the past.
Where has every situation started? It all started with a company just starting out. With Ring of Honor didn't become as big as it was with overnight. No, they had to start somewhere. Impact
WWE
same way.
When WWF started out, they started selling out arenas their first show.
Well, nobody has the money that WWE has or had,
But you just said every company started from the bottom.
Well, yeah. They had to start somewhere. Granted, not that company, but look at the talent that has grown into that.
Keep the indies in the indies. Keep the big leagues up there. End of that.
Agree to disagree.
Well, I agree to my agrees, right?
Well, I agree to disagree that you're wrong. So I think a lot of talent out there in the independent scene, if gave the right push, if seen by the right person, would do wonders in the mainstream.
I look at it like this.
That's why independence has more of my attention than mainstream wrestling nowadays.
Have you heard of Ethan Page?
Where is he from?
Alpha One AEW.
I guess not. Not offhand.
That motherfucker started from the bottom in Hamilton, Ontario, grew to go to WWE and then to AEW, and then now he won't even look back at the independents. That's why I don't want my independent guys to go to the big leagues. They forget who we are and they forget what company started them.
Well, granted, there's people like that they get too big for their shoes. It's like I had a little falling out with a couple independents this week because of they think that they're too big for other independents. They think they're too big for e-feds and promo artists and for podcasts because they're the guy of their independence. That they think that they should be what everybody can classify as the top talent that should be pushing mainstream. That they got a way big headed. But that's the thing. It all comes down to who the person is. There's a lot of the mainstream wrestlers you see nowadays going back to independence because they didn't forget where they come from, because they know where the action is. They know where they can get some good, fresh talent from.
I'm one of those guys that if I found a musical band that I like when they've started with 100 people, and like the Arkells, if you heard of the Arkells, I used to go to the Arkells when they had 20 people at their concerts, and now they're selling out arenas around the world. And now I don't fuck with them at all because they don't look back to their hometown venues.
It's like, let's see, what is this? You've heard of the Free the Narrative, correct?
Don't even get me started on that bullshit.
They're bouncing from independence to the mainstream televised circuits as well.
Not really.
Yeah.
You can't start a company with ex-WWE wrestlers and call yourself independent. I'm sorry. They have Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman can't start an independent company because all of his fans from WWE are going to buy the tickets, and again, not a bottom to the top company. That's a starting at the top company.
Because they're going to be at an independent show come on January 22nd. They're one of the independents I follow. He's got a match against EC3.
See, that's what I mean. And is it through the narrative promotion?
Right now, it's just a faction.
So how about that event that they did with the movie match?
A movie match?
Yeah, they did that cinematic match with Braun and EC3.
I hadn't seen that yet, I guess.
Yeah.
But
how about the tournament of survival this year?
That's the thing. To be able to, if they do decide to make a promotion of this, they got to go around and get, find talent, get the name out there. Yes, what is the best way to do that? Granted, I believe that they'll get a lot of following from, if they do start something like that, a lot of people from, other, big names will probably jump in with them.
And that's what I mean. It's not an independent company. Independent means no money.
But independent doesn't mean no money. It just means not mainstream.
Maybe where you're from, but in Canada, there's no money in the independent wrestling scene.
Well, that's the thing. There's a difference between independent scene and broke. I've seen independents that have money. I've seen independents that don't have money. I've seen independents put on elaborate shows. I've seen independents that put on parking lot brawls, because they got to start from somewhere.
But the parking lot brawls are so much better than the mainstream independent lights, camera, this and that for no big wrestlers. Like, come on. I hate going to an independent show with no big wrestlers, and they have all of this luxurious equipment. It's like, fuck off. Start from the bottom. Like, set up a ring outside of a school and beat the fuck out of each other.
What else have you been following along with this week?
Bunch of AEW stuff. American Top Team, the Jake Paul and Woodley fight last night.
I saw some stuff from that. They're trying to call Jake Paul's knockout maneuver a scam, basically. They said, oh, he was motioning that he was going to knock him out. That they paid each other off to do that. What do you think about that?
Okay, Jake Paul is a boxer, but for Showtime, and Showtime is entertainment. If you have watched, Showtime have not did one real boxing match since the whole celebrity YouTube fighters. So it could be that it was paid off. Because now boxing in that way is entertainment.
What do you think about him throwing shots at Dana White?
I loved it. Paul to go in the UFC. I want to see that white boy get knocked the fuck out. I want to see the black and Jake Paul come out. I want to see Jake Paul get hit so hard he looks at his mom and dad and starts crying.
I figure somebody's going to do that, because granted, he's been calling out these bigger names, and he's got his ass handed to him a couple times, and a couple times he's came out on top, but somebody's really going to mess him over one day.
Oh yeah. Did you end up watching GCW on Friday night? Blood to the Hills.
I did not. I got some I might have some downtime tomorrow in between my work shifts. I was thinking about looking that up and watching it.
Very good.
Did you watch it?
I watch every GCW.
What do you watch it on?
I watch it on an illegal streaming site.
You'll have to give me that link here after a while. But tell me some highlights. What did you see?
My favorite match was in the no rope barbed wire. It was just so goddamn bloody. Oh my god.
I always tend to like those no rope barbed wire matches. Those are always some of my favorites.
There was a fire table spot in it.
Let me see if I can look some of this up.
It's called WatchWrestlingNow.com. Oops, did I just say an illegal streaming site? Did I just say an illegal streaming service on Facebook? I don't give a fuck. It's Watch Wrestling Now, motherfuckers. Go watch.
McDonald's.
Yeah.
Okay, it's also on you can get the replay on Fight TV.
Yeah, for $10. What I love about GCW is that it brings back the independent feel. They go to the Knights of Columbus halls. They go to the YMCAs. It's just independent it's the biggest independent promotion known to man, like nowadays.
What did you think on the Matt Cardona and Chelsea Green versus Bussy?
I went in my room and jerked one off because fuck Matt Cardona.
Well, that's the thing. He's making a name for himself. He got away from WWE and the persona he had there, and look at it now. He's the internet title that he made back in the day as a joke is now being defended. He's got a match in Impact soon against Moose for the Impact World title. He's got a lot going for him nowadays.
He tried to come into GCW, face Nick fucking Gage, says you'll beat him, and then gets his ass whooped. Like, nah, you can't do that. You can't come into a GCW ring and challenge Nick Gage to a fucking death match and think you're going to come. Like, nah, you're going to get your ass beat.
But hey, at least somebody had to do it. And what was entertaining to watch?
Yeah, it was sold out.
Did you watch the tag team match?
What one? There was two of them.
For the GCW World Tag Team Championship.
Oh, yeah. The Briscoes match. That was
the
first
Briscoes
one.
versus Brody King
Awesome.
and PCO.
I counted 10 tables.
I am a fan of PCO.
I used to know him back in the Alpha One days.
I saw some stuff he did. What was the promotion? But I was watching some stuff he did, and I really like his style. He's an older guy, but but I like his style of his wrestling and as far as his character. He's very old school.
Yeah.
But you can tell he's been through a lot of like grunge and death matches as well.
So, do you mind if I take over for an ad read for a second?
Go ahead.
Okay. So, today, this episode is sponsored by Asylum Pro. They are a wrestling company out of New York, I do believe. And they are one of the best independent leagues in that part of America. I don't know the states that well, but the event is on January 29th, as you can see on the screen. On that screen, motherfucker. You can get the tickets at asylumpro.com or on their Facebook page. Go get those tickets. It will help us. Use discount code Powdered Out Podcast. And if you get a ticket from our show, you may get a signed poster from us. We have to discuss it, but who knows? Let's get it.
Now, what do you prefer, McDonald's or Burger King?
McDonald's.
I prefer Burger King, but all we got here in this town is McDonald's.
No shit.
Now, granted, I like a Big Mac.
I'm going to have to leave. Stop cam. Nope. Okay, I have to exit and come back. My cam's not working.
All right, well, I see you.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I see you.
Okay. It's just not on my side.
But anywho's, progressing on.
Anything from SmackDown you want to talk about?
What's been going on SmackDown? Tell me about it.
To be honest with you, I'm not a WWE person. I thought you might have watched it, but the Bloodline thing, couple other lame storylines. I don't really know. I watched it, but I watched it stoned. So like when you're watching wrestling high, you're not really paying attention.
All right. Well, what's been going on lately is Brock Lesnar comes out with Roman Reigns.
Lesnar.
I
love Lesnar.
I love this angle of Brock Lesnar. Because what they're basically doing is let Brock Lesnar be Brock Lesnar. Because that's who he is out on the streets. He's got he's got a farm. That's how that's him. I love this. It's more primal. It's more he's being more. He's funnier. He's more active. It's more natural coming from him like this. But he comes out and him and Roman Reigns are doing a contract signing, and so. He's like, they throw the contract down. Brock Lesnar just whips that thing out and signs it. Roman Reigns is like, basically treating him like he's stupid. Well, are you sure you want to read that over? If you can understand it, he said, Brock Lesnar said, oh, I done had my advocate, Paul Heyman, read it over for me earlier. Roman Reigns punches does a Superman punch to Paul Heyman. Brock Lesnar F5's Roman Reigns. So
Did you watch anything from AEW Rampage?
I did not.
Ooh, it was a good show.
My work schedule lately has been keeping me, pretty active. Like, I spent all day packing for my trip this coming, in the morning. But in between my shifts, I'm gonna have a little downtime to kind of catch up on things. So I'll be better prepared for next week to kind of go over. And it's kind of weird as far as like this week in wrestling. A lot hasn't really hit my news feed this week, so I'm just kind of like bummer.
What really surprised me was that ref getting stabbed in a ring. I'm going to look it up and actually see what the person's name is.
What was the promotion?
That I'm just going to look it up right now. There was a promotion from Texas. That's all that I know.
If anybody knows anything about icons of wrestling, that's something you need to check out. There's a lot of big names been going over there, been checking things out over there. Like it's wrestling events along with signings and autographs and pictures. Because you got Trevor Murdoch, Arn Anderson, Savio Vega, you got the Ming and Barbarian, JBL, Eric Bischoff, Kevin Nash, Gail Kim, so on and so forth.
Can I do a read for this Hannibal incident?
Tell me about it.
So apparently, this independent wrestler named Hannibal, he runs events in Texas, and he was paid. A ref was paid $75 to bleed. Now, if you were a wrestler and your promoter comes up to you and says, I paid the referee $75 for you to make him bleed. How would you make him bleed and win in the match?
Chair shot, if anything, or do the whole turnbuckle usage? I'd use something like that. That's something that you seen but hadn't seen in a while.
This crazy motherfucker goes and gets an ice pick and just starts stabbing his head.
Goes ham on it, huh?
Goes ham. 17 stab wounds, over 100 stitches, almost bled out in ring.
I think that was a bit much, huh?
Oh no, it's never enough. If your name is Hannibal, you're going to kill that guy and eat him after. You have to live up to that name, right?
Well, it's there's a fine line between your performance and in-ring, wrestling, and then attempted murder. We're not trying to go Jeepers Creepers and wear this dude's face as a mask for next week's show. You're just trying to get over as a heel.
But whose brain ticks like that? Oh, the ref was paid $75 to bleed. I'm going to take this ice pick and just pop, 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 pop.
I wonder if the ref knew that was the extent of what was going on, or just the guy just went with it and just got a little excited with it and just hamburger meated him up.
It says that the ref had no idea that Hannibal was going to do it. He was supposed to just take an iron stake. He was supposed to take an iron pan and go plop. But he was like, fuck that, and grabbed an iron ice pick and just went pop, 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 pop.
Well, that's the thing. You got to be careful when it comes to situations like that, because the promoter, the referee can turn around at that point if that's not the way it was supposed to go and be like, hey, filing some charges on this fella.
Wait. if you were a referee, wouldn't you sign for like wouldn't it be like a wrestler signing a match? Like, don't you have to sign to be in that ring? If you get hurt, you can't sue.
Yes and no. If it goes along with the scripted technicalities of the match, if it was just a botch or an accident kind of situation, like, hey, I'm gonna hit you with a chair, over the forehead. We'll say you step back too far and I hit you in the nose and it broke your nose. That's just how it works, Now say, hey, I'm gonna hit you with a chair. We're gonna sell it. Blah blah blah. Well, I don't pick up a chair. I grab an ice pick and stab you in the head a couple dozen times. When you change it up without letting everybody know, and then going to the extent of that, that's when things. That's when the legal issues of it comes apart.
Now, how about New Jack? Now, how about that scaffold match?
New Jack has many charges placed on him from many places that he wrestled and many people that he wrestled against. There's a lot of places that New Jack was not able to step foot back into because of the way New Jack, presented himself.
Who did he throw off?
Wasn't that Supreme?
Let me look it up. But did you hear about what happened with that? Do you know why he tased him and then thrown him?
Well, what it was,
guy broke his nose in a previous match or something.
Well, the thing was, they went over the match beforehand. They said, okay, it's the scaffolding match. He told the guy, he's like, hey, you went up there, you checked everything out. The guy's like, yeah. Vic Grimes, that's right. I think later on, what didn't he do Supreme's? I want to say he did a character called Supreme, or somebody else that was with him did Supreme. But anyways, he said that he went up there, he checked everything out. He's good with what's going on up there. So New Jack's like, all right, well, we're gonna do a spot up there then. So it comes time for that match. They getting on up there. And he decides he didn't want to go up there no more. He decided he didn't want to take a fall off there no more. He never been up there. He never checked anything out. And he was wanting to go back down and didn't want to do no spots up there. He didn't want to wrestle up there. He didn't want to do nothing else. So they're arguing the whole time they're up there. So he told him, like, hey, there's only one way we're getting down. And we're getting, it's either we're both going off of here or I'm going to throw your ass off of here. We're doing the spot up here. So that's why he lunged them off of there.
And a part of the reason why is because at the two shows before that match was Vic broke his nose. And so he was like, you bastard, you broke my nose. I'm going to throw you off this and kill you.
And granted, it was one of those situations before he came out to the ring,
I love New Jack. He's one of my favorites.
I like New Jack too. I never had like a big issue with him. Like some people don't like all the wrestlers that get in there and has a record of going in there and just flat out murdering people in the ring, figuratively and physically. But it's just. Some people, I like some of the more extreme rules or deathmatch, kind of perceptions of it. But it's when it comes down to, going against somebody like that, you got to know what you're in for. And it's like that situation. If it falls out of the content of what the match is supposed to be, that's when issues can arise.
Now, you asked me a few weeks back ago on the show, what's my favorite death match and why? Now I have the answer for you, Timmy and Mr. Shaky. So, New Jack's versus Necro Butcher, isn't that Rika's trainer's trainer? Someone on the podcast was affiliated with Necro Butcher.
Well, I know a few guys who was trained by Necro Butcher.
Necro Butcher versus New Jax versus Nick fucking Gage. New Jax, it was in one of New Jax's last matches. Best death match ever.
I liked Necro Butcher. Necro Butcher was one of my favorites. If you don't know, currently he hasn't been in the best of shape.
Yeah, what's going on with Necro?
The years are catching up with him. He just can't get around like he used to, and age caught up with him quick.
So no in-ring, just indie signing, and
if he can make that. Last I heard, he was hospitalized for something.
no shit. Well, that's from the Powdered Out podcast, which wishes you luck, Necro Butcher. You are one of our favorites. You're a king of the survival of death matches from CZW. You're one of the best. Wish you luck, buddy.
I'm trying to look that up real quick.
What do you think about WWE putting that thing for ECW? They just tried to make it so they can use ECW. Patent for ECW.
Yeah, they did. They just re-upped a new patent for ECW. I don't know what they're going to do with it yet. I'm kind of interested to see what they do. Because granted, around this time when they did this, it was the same time that Ring of Honor was like, "Hey, we're about to shut our doors." Could it be possible that they try to get some people in from over there and start a new kind of new breed of the hardcore ECW style with some guys like that?
They should burn ECW to the ground.
Yes and no. I liked ECW before it was WWE's. Granted, if they could have kept the entertainment part out of it and kept WWE's hands off of it, it would have stayed afloat. Granted, with WWE's funding, it didn't need WWE feel. It needed to stay ECW.
When Paul Heyman ran it, that's when I watched it. Come on, Paul Heyman is the king of ECW. How can you even think of WWE when you think of ECW? Paul motherfucking Heyman.
Unfortunately, that's who bought it, but
no, they didn't buy it. They burned it to the ground.
Let's see. This is one of the last photos that I know of Necro Butcher.
Ooh, he doesn't look good.
But man, he did hit some crazy matches.
Oh yeah. I was at one of his matches in London when he faced Jesse Amato back in 2021, back in 201.
But do you know anything going on that's supposed to be happening soon in wrestling? Anything coming on this next week, or anything we can kind of look forward to?
Day one, maybe, but I'm not a WWE person. All of the AEW stuff is in January.
Yeah, day one. I'm wondering how they got this name for it.
They used to have a day one pay-per-view, like a New Year's Eve pay-per-view back in the 80s.
I don't ever remember anything being called day one, you know.
It wasn't called day one. I think they're just using day one, but because if you think of it, look at all of WWE shows on New Year's Eve. It's all the same color scheme.
The only thing I can kind of vaguely place with day one is the saying from the Usos is day one-ish, you know. So that just kind of throws me for a loop, you know, because I remember all these names for pay-per-views, and now it's just day one. Okay, so you know, we're going to look forward to seeing that. We'll whenever it happens, we'll talk about it. Next week we'll come on here and we'll find out what goes on throughout the week of wrestling. We'll talk about some other stuff. If ever there's anything y'all want to hear us talk about, comment it on the comment section and we'll look it up. We'll talk about it. You got anything to close us out, Mike?
Yeah, I have a couple things to close this out. I still want to talk about one more thing. What do you think about independents going to, like, independent wrestlers going to big name shows to visit? Like, could you ever watch an AEW event and have some local indie guy front row? Like, it just looks weird.
No, I like that. You know, it's like, you know, when, you know, you got WWE people that, you know, support people in the MMA, they'll go sit there and watch their buddies fight. I like that. If it is what it is, it's wrestling. Wrestling is wrestling, no matter if it's mainstream or indie. You can probably still see some big mainstream guys going to indie shows to watch stuff like that. It's just where people's hearts are. You know, they love the business. They granted they live it, but they want to go back to why they fell in love with it to begin with. So I like seeing, you know, bigger names going to, you know, different shows and seeing the indie peoples going to the main shows, just, you know, to watch, to just to live it out and have fun, you know. So I don't see anything wrong with it.
Now, can we touch on Triple H hooking up, doing the bounce chicka wow with Tony Storm?
No.
Do what?
The bounce chicka wow with Tony Storm.
I understand that, but I didn't know there was ever there was a scandal going on.
Yeah, it's getting pretty juicy. She called out Triple H on it. Triple H is going on for sexual allegations call outs right now. Did the nasty with Tony Storm. How many divas do you think Triple H has busted nuts in?
Nothing I really want to talk about on air like that.
Oh, I would say at least 20 of them.
Well, I'm looking. I don't see anything. I'm not really seeing anything on anything like that.
Oh, it's happened. I seen it on YouTube and I've watched videos on it. Why is it not okay to talk about that stuff on air? If I found out Vince McMahon blinked one of his divas, damn straight I would talk about it on air. It'd be awesome. Come on, Landfill. Vince McMahon boning Lita isn't funny?
No.
What?
No, I was actually looking at it. I can't find anything on that. That's the first I've heard of that as well. So maybe I can find something later on, because I like following juicy stories like that. I just don't like using that kind of first, you know, description of it. Because we'll get, if you want to talk about this on air, how I'd go about it is, oh, Triple H had an affair, not, oh, he's busting nuts in everybody. You know, there's a difference there. Am I right? Can somebody give me a hallelujah here? Come on.
Oh no, you're right, but it's fun to say Triple H
No!
is nuts.
No, it's not. It's not okay. And I'm going to tell you that. It's not okay.
When you're half autistic and have no filter like I do, it's definitely okay to say.
Ladies and gentlemen of all the viewers of the podcast, and it's not okay to say that. And he apologizes with deep, deep remorse and regret.
Maybe not.
We have it's a big, big matter of opinion because on my side of the world here, it's about professionalism. It's about bringing you the story, and we're building a name here. Not trying to give you the whole juicy details of what you can find on Pornhub kind of thing. Anything else other than explicit materials?
Me wanting to bust nuts and Miss May? Okay, that one was just to bug you. That one was just to fuck with you.
Well, I'm about to remove you from this screen. Well, anything else you want to talk about? You said you had a couple other things. What else you got?
Nope, that's good with me.
All right. Say your final words and we'll get on out of here.
This is the Powdered Out Podcast, and if you don't like what I have to say as a crazy Canuck, I got 2 fingers for you. We're out.
All right. Powdered Out Podcast, let me check my calendar. Let me see if we're going to be joining y'all anymore before Christmas. Let's see. Where is my calendar? All right. We will be joining y'all the day after Christmas. So until then, guys, thank y'all for joining us tonight. I hope y'all join us some other times. Have a Merry Christmas. Have some great times with your family. And always remember that here, it's all about kicking it back, having fun, talking about wrestling, bullshitting, powdering out, as they call it in the business. Have a Merry Christmas, and we'll see y'all next time.